the California blacks is in my book. The story about the California blacks, because remember, they walked down the parasites, and when I mean parasites, I'm talking about the Slavs, the Slavic people, the Romanian, the Turkish, the Russian people that I just showed you pictures of. They walked. They walked from Russia. Yeah, I know. They walked from Bulgaria, Russia, because how come they can't? There's no slave ships. If there's no slave ships, then how did they get here? Okay, so anyway, they walked from Russia, from down into Alaska and to Canada. Ooh, okay, that was. Thank you so much for donating. Thank you, Tasha. Okay, so from there, and then down into California and into Canada, all into other states. Into so they came here and they just took over our lands. So when we talk about uh, Aborigine people, we're talking about black people here is owed our 640 acres because this is our great great grandparents. Now, some of our people used to wear our hair straight, long and straight, because we would use clay and this certain type of oil that would make our hair long, and it would make it look like we look like the Indians, the $5 Indians, but we really had straight hair too. We had long straight hair, and this is Choctaw. My I'm sorry. This is my great 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 grandparents from Choctaw, grandmother. Okay, and her mother, her mother was kidnapped. So she was kidnapped, her mother was kidnapped, and we were kidnapped, and um, and so we were telling them how the states we all run together, all the states run together, so there was no separating states. But anyway, if you look under the Constitution of Choctaw Nation, they will show you that they said you can't have, no Negro can live in our community. Why would they do that? Why would they say, why didn't you put white or Mexican? Why you take out, why you say no Negro can come into Choctaw Nation? Because you removed us from our homes. That's why you said that. Now, this is why, now, we have wrote to Brian Stevens. That's what I wanted to also to make sure. Now, I didn't send him that. Remember that video that I made that I received a letter from the attorney and we received a letter from the attorney? Here's that letter from the attorney. I want you to read it because I want you to write to Brian Stevens and say, because I didn't write him here's the letter. See this? Okay. Now, I didn't write him. I didn't send him that video that I made, but I want you to, I'm going to make a video. Or you can pick any video you see and send it to him and say, I need you to follow up on Kathy because you said that you were going to see about taking her case, which involves each black person receiving their free Jetson RV motorhome coach, top of the line, for us to travel in our 640 acres. Well, it would be really 7 to 13 promised land areas in your area in each state, where we would be able to travel in each state and we would learn about the land and agricultural resources. All of our things that we're supposed to have, will have that. And so this person and his army removed us because they took over and stole our land. And they turned black people into terminators. So we have to get back to our land. And this is what my book is entitled to, that I'm the one that creates the promised land. See? That's why you have to do it, because the sign says it. It said, bring. That means see, you have to donate. It's a sign. It's for you to donate and understand that if you don't believe that you can have the promised land right where you're at, then you have to just look at your great-grandparents' evidence. Just look at your great-grandparents. They were in court and they were saying, and they said it. They said, yes, 640 acres is yours. That means 640 acres is yours right where you're at. That means you cannot. Oh, that's right. And I made a part 2 and 3 that they took down. And I was at the part where I said, and if you were a serial rapist or a murderer, You would have to stay there, and we would have to see if you really did that, so that you can come into the rehabilitation of the promised land, because there's two promised land that's built, the public and the private. The public is where whoever took the boom boom will be monitored in the public, but we will be in the private to monitor our people. You understand? And the rules are no white, Mexican, Chinese person can come in here willy nilly by themselves. They can no police officer, nobody can come in here into the promised land at all unless you're coming here as a benefit where you're bringing your children to come in the theme park only for to the public. You can't come to the private because you won't even know it's there. The gates will be shut. You won't even know. But the private you will know about, and you'll be able to have a choice to bring your family only, because you know no white man, Mexican or Chinese or Arab man can just come willy nilly. Just no. Only black people who run the Shia facility is able to bring in what other race they want to bring in, because that's their family member. I don't know. I'm just saying, like if you're a mixed race, you're black, right, and you're mixed, and you have family member who, then that's how they would come. That's how another Mexican or another Chinese person can just come in, because that's your family and you're responsible. You're responsible for that person. So that's not of your race, but that's your family. That's you know what I'm saying, because we do things fairly. But in there, but in the promised land, the rules are, even if there was a murder, which that could not happen, because there would be no murders in the promised land, because you have everything you ever desire. Whatever you want is in the promised land. It's yours. So there would be no crime. If a person steals something in the promised land, then they have lost their mind, because if you have everything, if everything is free, then what are you stealing? What you gonna steal for if everything is free? You be too busy anyway, traveling and stuff. And not only that, but you would have many different homes to live in. You would have over 13 different promised lands. Well, you'll have 13 different promised land in each state. So, and that it'll be 43 states or 48 states. It won't be 50 states. It'll be like 40 states, right? So you'll have 7 to 13 different places to choose from to live in, because that's where your relatives are. This is what we used to do. We have, relatives from Florida to California, and this is our land. And you're not supposed to live in one house. It's just what you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to live in one house. You're supposed to live in many different houses. Not only that, but since there are people who are not human, who took over our land, who are imprisoning us, in which the treaty law from the first law of 1830 says you were never supposed to talk to an indigenous person. You were never supposed to go in their land and imprison them. You were never supposed to go to them about anything. And if they killed somebody on their own land, that's their business. No white cop, Chinese, Arab cop is supposed to get involved of a black man's business or a black woman's business on their own land. They're supposed to not even approach whatever happened. They're supposed to ask what happened outside of their land. What happened? Well, this black man shot another black man. Why? Well, he was raping some of his kids or whatever, and he, and the wife and the family, the whole town agreed, because he was raping kids. Now, if it's like that, then it's like that. But even right, no white man could dictate about who goes to jail on this right here, or anything that we're doing, because for one, you're a parasite by genetic makeup. You were made from another race, so you can't be the dictator of anything. You have to be contained, is what you have to be. Every single white person, Chinese, Mexican, who is in office today would have to literally be contained. So it ain't nothing about, that's why Hitler wasn't, what treaty? You see, you can't even come with us to a treaty. You can't come at us with a treaty when you are genetically a parasite and you're not human. Right? So you don't put a monster in office. You get the key and, get the crowbar or some shit and get some chains and lock it, put it somewhere. It's like a wild animal. You don't let the damn thing loose. You done cleaned it up and shit. Now it's wearing a suit and tie telling you to pay rent on your own land. And you supposed to be locking this shit up. You supposed to have chains. You supposed to have chains on this bitch. This bitch supposed to have chains on him. Look at all of these parasites. You supposed to chain these people up. They not supposed to have no guns. You supposed to chain these people. These are not people. They're not human. You understand? You supposed to lock them up because this is what the British did. They brung them over here. See, the British thought that they was gonna drop them off over here. Everything's gonna be all right, and they was gonna go back to England. But the British got trapped in here, and these people took over the British, the parasites, the Slavs, the Slavs that Hitler was getting rid of. See, you don't let this sit in office. So this child right here, you just let this child and her baby just go ahead and just sit in office, and she just procreating with other white Slavics and Turkish people in America. I'm talking about the bloodline of these Turkish people, the bloodline. Why is he aiming and he trying not to make sure he don't miss her? Why? See, this man ain't playing. He not, see, because she's coming with a treaty. She said, here, I have a treaty for you. And he said, what you say, bitch? What treaty? He ain't even say no what treaty. He don't care about no treaty. It's not about, it's about containing some motherfuckers. That's what it meant. He meant containing people. And maybe this part, when he went like this, meant get your ass on over there. Hire Hitler your ass on over there. Shit. Get on. That's probably what this meant. Because I really don't give a fuck and I don't care. But it just, maybe that's what it means. Get your ass on over there. Slavs. I'm just saying. Look, we have to get to where we got to get to now. Stop playing. Okay, now. We're going to, now, what we're going to do is we're going to get the record straight with who we have to understand who's who. On our land, 640 acres is ours. I'm the one that creates the promised land. Okay, but we have to understand who can come in the promised land and who can't, or we'll just have a messed up promised land, right? Okay, so now we want just, our people that is in the patent, because I have, when you patent something, it's the law, it's just what it is. It's where you receive your free Jetsons. The age of 16 years old will be stationary. So the kids that are in foster care would be moving out. People who are incarcerated. See, you were never supposed to go to jail for marijuana or cocaine or anything like that. Oh my goodness. Imagine that. You was locked up by some parasites that told you can't have no marijuana on your own land. And that was medication. And they telling you can. And guess what? You buy some marijuana now, and it'll be a white boy or a Mexican boy selling it to you from a dispensary, a government dispensary, and you get a little bit portion of it for you would pay a whole bunch of money for a little bit. You got to show ID and all of this. See, the reason why it's messed up because they touched it. Everything they touch, it turns to shit. Even marijuana, like damn, you can't even sell weed, right? Just sell this shit. Don't be putting all the stipulations and shit. You got to show ID and just, it ain't even all that serious. It grows every day. That's why fruits and vegetables should be free. Because it grows out of the ground every day. You just get some sunlight and some water and just grow it. It's just, I mean, I have a tree in my house. You just grow it. It is real simple. It don't take nothing. Don't take nothing just to grow something. You can grow anything. And then they treat it like everything is just so, because we were really, I don't know, I'm just saying, if you want to protect yourself, you have to protect yourself from people who who don't know, who are not capable mentally of even running anything. They have to be contained. You don't ask them questions. You keep them contained somewhere. I'm talking about these type of people that's in office. You have to keep these people contained. They can't be running in office. They can't dictate. So you got, you know, so whoever's in office, look at that one white woman, Lisa Haven. She's happy that that boy got off scot-free. She's so happy about that because I told you what she was. These are her grandfathers, the great grandfathers. But you want to look at her information because she's showing you what's happening to her people, of how they're dying and how they're being wiped off this planet right now. And boy, is she upset about that. Yeah. And that's what makes me happy. But anyway, okay, so what I'm saying is that we just have to get it together. Okay, now I'm the creator of the Promised Land. And this is your great grandparents' darus. It's very important to look at your darus. Just type it in. Come on, let's go do this together. Now we just type it in now. Now remember now, when you type in Wikipedia, we don't look at Wikipedia. Forget Wikipedia. Don't look at Wikipedia. Because I'm just saying, I'm just showing you how they're liars. How they would write persecution of black people, but you don't see no pictures. You just see words. They're liars. Okay? So all of the Constitution of Choctaw Nation that they wrote, they saying no man can approach this land and you can't do this and can't imprison. That's true. And they're speaking of themselves, but on our land, based on what we supposed to be. Because when we're talking about the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the United States, they said every man is created equal. Okay, who don't know that? Why would you even start off with every man is created equal? Well, we know that. See, the reason why you write that is because you're the one that started slavery, and you would write every man is created equal because it's my constitutional law. Now, they don't put down Negro or anything like that because they don't want to put Negro. They just want to put every man is created equal, but yet none of those rules apply to us. See, none of the rules apply to us, but they write every man is created equal. But we're indigenous, but yet none of the rules apply to us. Who would do such a thing? Who? What type of being would do that if you're human? If you're human, what type of human does that? That would come to an indigenous land, take you over, kill you, write a constitutional law and say every man is created equal. But the rules don't apply to the indigenous people. See? Okay. So we're dealing with parasites. We're dealing with Slavs. Even the word, that's nasty. Ugh. That's nasty. To be labeled as a Slav? What is your culture? Shit. Slavic, Slav. Nigga, I be slobbing. Ugh, you be slobbering. That's my name. Slavs. Okay, now listen. When we talk about, oh, okay, now this is another thing to hear. I was talking about Hitler. Right. So Hitler made a he don't do treaties. He just removed you. And the reason why, because when they came here, we already had problems from way back in 1765 that proves that they have to be contained and not in office. They got to be contained. Because if you can't get it together from in 1765 to this day, you can't hand over the reparations that, and you know reparations is your death. See, you can't even hand over reparations because real reparations technically is their death. See, they can't even hand it over. They have to be contained. So since we can't physically really contain them, and there's nothing really we can do about this right now, we have to let divine intervention take over, and it did. It took over. Cain is here. I told you already. Cain is here now. He's in the form of everything that makes them get this boom boom. So whatever it takes, whether he be Fauci and what's that other one, Bill Gates and okay, whether it be Trump ushering that in and then pulling, he just left. He just mashed on out, you know. He just announced it. It was like, well, you know, because he is their Grim Reaper. He riled up all of the white people, all of the racist white people, and he. I want to show you the Paul Revere, because Paul Revere wasn't. Um, oh, that's right. I can't even. I get a copyright strike. Okay, go to my. Well, I'm gonna end this video because I can't show nothing unless you go to my Patreon, because that's where I can show all of how they're being removed. You better go on my Patreon channel. Go to my Patreon channel, and I'll put a link on there, and you can see how they're being removed, because I wanted to show you something. So I can't show you here, show you there, because it's funny how everybody can get on YouTube. All of you guys can get on YouTube and show videos. I can't show anything. No, I can't show nothing. They put a copyright strike on my when I show stuff. But I use the Rumble and my Patreon to show what's in that vaccine. Now, remember, now we're talking about Slavs and Romanians, Turks, these bloodline people, the people that are in office, these bloodline people, right? Okay, well, their grandchildren are what you see today, right? That's in office, that's Becky, and right? They walking around in the grocery store. Okay, well, more than half of them took it. Now, this bloodline here is voided of melanin, so they are unprotected of anything that would protect them from any type of parasitic things that would come against them in their body. They turned into it now. So you'll see it on my other two videos that I posted up on Patreon, how in that shot there, it's going to make them blind and dumb, and they won't know anything. Go look at the movie Planet of the Apes. No, yeah, Planet of the Apes with Caesar. The first one. The first Planet of the Apes, the first one. Where he took the gas and threw it where all of the other apes woke up. They became conscious. That's us. That's a compliment. I don't care what you say. Why they put monkeys and they make it look like this us? Because that's gorillas and monkeys and King Kong. That's a compliment to me. Because I would rather stand behind King Kong than to stand behind a goddamn parasite. I'm just saying. Let King Kong be my friend. That's my friend. I shoot. Anyway. Okay, anyway, and I put in the book that we were going to end up rescuing animals out of cages. In the end, we're going to be superheroes, and we're going to be rescuing animals out of the zoos. Because what's the worst thing you can do to a bird or an animal? You know, a bird, you clip its wings and you put it in a bird cage. That's the worst thing you can do. Well, we're going to be the rescuers of birds and animals and stuff like that. And in my book, I'm going to rescue a huge gorilla out of a cage, because they're not supposed to be in cages. I'm just saying, we're going to, in the end, that 144,000 is about to come about out of consciousness. And this is where Hitler comes in at. Now, what happened to Hitler? Hitler went down to Argentina and married a black woman and had 2 kids, honey. And he is linked to the UFO. I should just go ahead and do my video about my UFOs. Okay, so Hitler's linked to the UFO. If you don't know, the Antarctica. He destroyed all of Admiral Byrd's army. That Admiral Byrd went down there when the war ended. Admiral Byrd went down there to seek out new lands, which you just trying to find who escaped is what you really was trying to do. Anyway, so he found, it wasn't Hitler, it was the swastika sign, and it's not about Hitler, it's about, what did it say? What does that sign say? It said, okay, I'll get that later, but it was, anyway, it's a powerful sign. It says, awaken. You're right. My people awaken. That sign means awaken. It means to awaken yourself. So it is from Ethiopia. It is from the Negus, Negus, King Ethiopian They say it's no. It, then I don't even want to mention Selassie because it was there before Selassie. So don't. I don't even know why I put his name in there. No. What I'm saying is that the Most High God children has different symbols and signs that we had here, over here too, there, over there. Okay. Well, Hitler has his. That's not his sign. What I mean by that is that that sign holds great power. And when you have it and you hold it and you keep it and you say it, that I'm awakened with the sign, you have it and you kind of keep it, you kind of lock that sign in your mind, and then you say, I'm awakened. And then you just become awakened. And then you have that sign in your mind, in your mind's eye, and it's spinning, and you say, I can fly. You know what I'm saying? You can just work that magic. The way he worked his to where it's like, I want all of these parasitic people to leave. That's how he used it. So he used that to bring in the masses to agree with him. And he put that sign there. And when you look at that and you talk that language that they agree with, then that's why the mass of people came to him, because that sign was just, and he was showing he was showing movies. Yeah, okay, because Hitler was showing movies just like I'm showing you different movies about things that you need to know of who's who. See, if you can see, he's in the movie theater and he was showing his people of who black people were. Okay, was showing the difference between, now this will be called an Italian mixed black person. Now, black women will call him a son of a bitch. Now, why would we call him a son of a bitch? Because he's the son, come from this Most High God's son, and he made it with a female Italian, Greek, Slavic woman